Well, it took a bunch of years, but they finally did the thing you've been telling them to do basically forever. Okay, it's hot. Sorry. We got to get some air moving here. Welcome, everybody. Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV. I'm aware that I could have not had that as my intro. I chose to leave it there. What you're looking at here, this 316 Cougar has been one of the most popular couples camping floor plans in the Cougar lineup for a long, long time, for very good reason. But like everybody and their brother has something kind of like this. We have opposing living room super slides. You have direct facing entertainment, plenty of good kitchen space at solid surface counters throughout, which is kind of nice. Campside window coverage to the max, and you know, bed slide with stackable washer dryer prep, like great stuff. But a lot of brands do that. They did the bathroom differently on this one. Instead of the same bathroom arrangement that the entire industry uses ad nauseum, Cougar adopted a bathroom layout that's like 43% larger than normal. But historically, this floor plan always had 2 sinks in the bathroom. People have different variant opinions, but the general overall overwhelming consensus was, why do I need 2 sinks when the only way to use one of them was to stand and like squat on your feet basically on top of the toilet bowl? Well, Cougar finally went, okay, fine, we'll listen to you guys. And what they did is they just basically maximized the counter space in that bathroom. I think this floor plan is finally dialed in the way that you have wanted to see it. Now, what's crazy is normally when a builder makes an RV like this with an extra large bathroom, it's like 40 feet long. I don't know what kind of crazy Bob Vila magic Cougar pulled off with this, but it's still closer to like 35, 36 feet. I don't have the hard measurements in front of me, but it's like the shortest triple slide couples RV with an extra large bathroom I've seen. I don't know how they pulled it off. I don't know where the space came from, but I think it is brilliant. And I would love to hear what you think about it as we go. Now, it's kind of interesting here. This sort of feels like the Cougar farmhouse decor that they had for a bunch of years sort of had a baby with the pre-farmhouse brown decor. And what I can tell you is the camera is really not doing it justice. I've sort of noticed that. I've recorded a lot of Cougars so far already this season, with probably more to come. And every single time I've looked at the camera viewfinder, I look at the footage, I'm like, that's not what it looks like. So before you hard judge it, take a look at it in person, because it's just not being friendly to it. Anyway, overall, I like the look of this thing, but I'm getting to see something you are not. In the back there, you have a Furrion 18,000 BTU chill cube. You have, now that's a direct dump maximum high efficiency air conditioner. You have a second mini ducted air up in the bedroom and bathroom, I'll show you, but you see that power junction box next to that big vent fan? This is prepped and ready for a third air now, which is not something Cougar did a lot of before. And as a result, you do have to sacrifice that vent fan to get that function. Thankfully, the stovetop vent hood does actually exhaust out. The microwave is a vent hood, in case you're curious, because you're like, what vent hood? The microwave does breathe outside the camper if you flip the switch, basically. So you get some pretty interesting airflow options here. Now, along with that, you've also got the ceiling fan up top here. I don't have turned on, as much as I would love to get some air flowing on this hot day, because it'll sort of make it looks like the lights flicker when it does that, and that hurts people's eyes and brains. Don't want to do that. Very easy Maxell tapes, direct viewing entertainment center right here. Now, the TV's obviously a little bit above your eye level. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go sit down over here, put you in the driver's seat, because one of the questions that people have is the island in the way of that one chair? And if I'm sitting in the right-hand theater seat here, so you can see that I'm not dead nuts square on with this thing, which is a technical term, but you get the idea. If I simulate that and I hang the camera over on the other side, yeah, the left-hand seat's a little more direct viewing, but I'm not mad at it either way. And you can see that, no, the island's not in the way whatsoever. Now, this is not pumping heat currently, because I would be dead if it was. This is here for visuals only right now. These electric space heating fireplaces are also cool for just general visuals if you're just looking to kick up a little bit of a vibe. You might notice, though, floor flush slides on both sides of the RV. As Cougar's making new models, I have noticed they are eliminating, well, they're just not building them with floor heating ducts, but existing floor plans that are already engineered. They're not peeling them back apart to build them without floor heating ducts and build them a different way. So it kind of depends on the model you're looking at, what Cougar's doing with their heating system. I think that kind of gives you an idea as to where they're leaning moving forward, and they're probably just going to slowly phase out and grandfather out floor heating systems. I don't know that for 100% certain, though. I appreciate the side stands. I appreciate that they have power outlets, household and USB. I don't like how they are all the way at the floor, because most USB cables are about 3 feet or a meter for those for the rest of the world who doesn't run on imperial units. But when they're all the way down to the floor, that doesn't leave a lot of cable left. So you might want to kind of keep that in mind. By the way, if you're not familiar with these Furrion chill cubes, I don't know. Should I make a video dedicated to just educating on these? Because it's a totally different kind of air system. I don't know. Leave me a note. Let me know. And if you want me to, I'll do it if enough people say it. How many people have to say it? I don't know. I'll use the force and I'll feel it out like Yoda, I guess. But meanwhile, the window coverage is awesome. The window coverage on this thing gives you amazing views and visibility. And where I really like this is when you have this flex dynamic, like you saw in the earlier footage, it could be sort of like a booth. It can be more like a traditional table and chairs, or you can sort of use it like a little bit of a campsite overlook buffet bar. Or if you have no use for any of those chairs, but maybe you got a pet, you go camping with a four-legged furry friend, you could get those chairs out of the way and you could have yourself a little pooch palace there, or a litter box or something. I don't think the average person realizes how many cat campers are out there. There are a lot of cat campers nowadays, more now than ever before in history. It's really kind of becoming a thing. So, hey, RV designers who are stalking Cougar right now, pay attention. That's a real thing. Now, right over here, you might notice solid surface kitchen countertops. Very nice. Keep an eye on all the different power outlet locations. So you'll see the Cougar is they have been for many years, but very, very good at putting power outlets very close to, if not built right into and coming out of, the solid surface countertop material here. And this is a very symmetrical kitchen arrangement, which I think not only is that more visually pleasing, but I think it's just more functional overall. And as a result, I think what that does here is it really gives you the ability to kind of customize and or set this kitchen up in the way that makes the most sense to you. And I think it's time to open all the storage. Cougar has become extremely good and consistent about making sure that overhead doors hold themselves. It's easy to miss, but this overhead cabinetry, the two end cabinets kind of wrap around a little bit, and I think it just kind of draws your eyes into the living area, the sort of Cougar experience, if you will. And this floating padded top ottoman also has its own little storage right here. Handy little, I don't know, what would you shove down in this thing? From here, swinging open the whole pantry-tainment center. This RV already has a dedicated kitchen pantry, but they have a lot of cabinet construction standardized for RV construction simplicity's sake. Thing is, I'm not mad at it. I like this space, whether you're using it to keep like dog leashes or umbrellas or brooms, or if you want to add a portable powered stick vac or something like that. It just gives you a lot of cool opportunities and solutions. Now, most of the big Cougars are using a larger oven as compared to like travel trailers. But as you like, I'm not going to call a Cougar a full-on luxury fifth wheel. I think it's a very solid, I'm going to call upper middle class, where occasionally it doesn't do all the things of a full-on luxury fifth wheel, but it does a lot of them without the full-on luxury budget. You will be able to access that fuse panel when the slides close, by the way. And I know that because when the slides close, you can get all the way up to the fridge. Now, another thing that they're doing here is any door is going to be soft close, because I flung that sucker pretty hard. And that includes the overhead doors above the sofa that we looked at. Those are also soft close, so you can just flick them down, move on out, rawhide. Or you could give those suckers a roundhouse kick like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. I don't know why I said that, but moving on from there, that is a pull-out sprayer faucet. The little gold-handled part will make life a little simpler and easier that way. Notice, too, I put those sink covers on either side just to kind of help give you a sense of space. There's some really nice counter space on either side of this thing. Now, the little comfort touches, the personal touches, Cougars become very, very good at. And let's be real, I'm sure there's some other people in the marketplace that have put some pressure on them where they said, all right, we got to step our crap up. But the double wastebasket situation here with this pull-out drawer, Brinkley wasn't the first one to do it, but let's be real. Everyone's doing it because Brinkley made it very common, very popular. Outback used to do stuff like this all the time and got zero credit for it. But, you know, that's just kind of the funny way of the RV industry. Open Range made the very first mid-bunk fifth wheel and got absolutely no fanfare for it, even though they're the ones that really originated the concept. So sometimes it's not who's first, it's just who's the first one to get recognition. This is going to be an interesting fact that you probably don't care about. There's a lot of evidence to suggest the Wright brothers may not have been the first ones to create a flying machine. They just might have been the first ones to document flight. But who knows, because it wasn't documented. So yeah, come for the RV tour, stay for the random trivial pursuit tidbits, I guess. Blackout roller shades, you may have noticed. Now, your main cabin, your slide-out lighting, and your bedroom all have their own dimmer switch controller. What's kind of nice is it has, you see all the number of lights on there. You can see at a glance how high up or down your current level of illumination is. And speaking of up or down, you do have a privacy shade in the entry door. You have the choice of putting up or down or leaving it halfway between, like I've done there. I guess that looks more like 33% in between if we're going to be technical schmechnical. Now, this bathroom right here, you folks got your way. So if you don't like it, you got nobody to blame but yourself. I personally am very glad to see this. This used to have 2 sinks. And the problem is the second sink was located directly next to the toilet. And you couldn't do anything with it. It just wasn't super functional. And this is still solid surface countertop all the way through this bathroom here. So they went single sink. They reduced a ton of plumbing. They increased a lot of countertop space as a result. Now, this floor plan does not actually have a traditional medicine cabinet. You've got this big old mirror here, and I like the indirect lighting that goes all the way around. It frames it up real nice. It doesn't stab you directly in the eyes. It helps you do your makeup, according to my Uncle Gary. I don't know. But you get the idea. It provides a lot of light in this room. But what's cool is this is a significantly larger overall bathroom in terms of square foot of space. And the thing is, normally you find this bathroom in like 38, 39, 40 foot fifth wheels, and that's not the case here. Now, the trick is I don't like to use wide angle lensing, and it is fairly tight in here. So let's start by looking at the toilet space. You can see that there actually is some pretty decent room all around, especially when you slide that door. Here's another thing that I noticed. They've enhanced the locking holdback on this door. I'm guessing some people had a couple problems with it bouncing down the road, but it helps when you have it up. It's got an extra little lock on it. Like, I was going like this and it wasn't coming open, and I realized you got a little trigger finger situation going on right there. You got to activate on. Huh, cool. Cougar's generally very good. They're one of the better ones, actually, at providing larger than average showers. Now, you got that corner seat there. I'd probably use it, I'd use that as a stand for body washes and the limited amount of shampoo and conditioner that I personally need. My wife and kid need far, far more. But notice some really respectable headroom up in this shower. I don't have to put my head in the bubble. But also, if you're taking a shower early morning, late at night, when there's no light coming in through the skylight, kind of like there is right now in this building, you don't got to worry about it. You can still see what you're doing. And they provide what is normally going to be an aftermarket shower head straight from the factory. So just something to give you a little bit better control over the whole situation, apparently. What am I doing? I'm moving the camera around. Okay, tell you what. Take a look at the left side of the screen. I'm going to give you some x-ray vision inside that door right there. And that's kind of just where the storage starts in this bathroom. As I'm spinning around in here, again, I know it's close quarters. That's, again, one of the major reasons that I don't think this RV ever needed a dual sink. It's close quarters, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, you're going to get a look at my sweaty chicken nugget dad bod in the shower, which is probably the first place I'm going to visit when I get home. But this gives you a better idea of the scope and the scale of everything. But also, I thought that this might make for an easier way to start showing you this bad cabinet storage space. Now, I noticed this one door still kind of taps that porcelain stool, but whatever, I don't care. This has just opened up so much down here from what it used to be. Personally, I really like it. And you might notice, again, as they redesign stuff, they're getting heat vents out of the floor where they can. Now, over here, it's a little bit tricky sometimes to show you drawer space, how much we have in here. Good stuff. Moving on. I want to kind of point out how nicely finished all their plywood drawers are, so they don't turn into an organic splinter factory, which I appreciate. Now we have soft closed doors, but not soft closed drawers. It's just an interesting combo there. Moving our way around. Bedroom TV, not a standard issue Cougar object. Very easily done. I'll tell you this. If the only thing you need to go camping is a TV in your bedroom, call our team. Believe it or not, we can solve for that. So yeah, that's not a real tricky situation. This right here is a 70 by 80 king bed. 60 by 80 queen would be the standard. And if you go with the queen, you actually get, from the factory anyway, you get side stands. If you go with the king from the factory and then retrofit down to a queen, which is very easy to do, obviously you will have to create your own side stand kind of situation. Now, once again, some very respectable storage here. 2 big dresser drawers, 2 small ones with some pretty respectable, decent depth on those as well. And then up front here, this is something that happened a year or 2 ago. Cougar redesigned their front ends. Instead of being a combo washer dryer capacity only, they are now capable of accepting a combo or stackable, which I know a lot of people were looking for. And along with that, I say a lot of people are looking for washer dryers. Washer dryer people are a very vocal minority, and I'm not trying to make you feel like insignificant or unheard, but the overwhelming statistical minority of people, or majority of people, do not need washer dryer functions in their RV. But I do think that that situation is changing as more and more people are leaning toward RVing as an alternative to housing that they maybe can't afford anymore. So little things like more washer dryer hookups, they don't hurt anybody, but laundry baskets, those help everybody. Now, slide closed road mode function, you can definitely get up here to the bedroom, but that's a rack and pinion bed slide. Normally, means you shouldn't be in it while it's retracted. However, I gotta believe that bed's on some kind of runner. I gotta believe that there's some sort of support under it. I don't know that for sure, though. So if that's an important factor to you, I would potentially encourage you to ask about that, basically. Short of that, obviously, the bathroom is fully functional if you make a little travel stop. And down here, you're not going to get to any of the seating or anything like that, but you can at least get to the refrigerator and, of course, the fuse box that we talked about earlier. Now, down here, you notice how that carpetless flap is smushed up against the island a little bit? When the RV is cold, when you open this slide, it will cause that carpetless flap at the end of the slide to just be a little funny. When it's really warm like it is today, everything relaxes and settles down. So just kind of keep that in mind. The more you know. And certainly, you wouldn't regret necessarily stepping up into a 1-ton pickup to tote this thing around. I don't know that you necessarily need to. I think that this is one with the proper 3/4 ton setup in the proper scenario could work. But You know, if you were like, yeah, but we might go cross country through mountains and I don't ever want to have to think about it, you might want to go 1 ton. It just kind of depends. That's kind of the thing with these big cat Cougars. Now, speaking of big cat Cougar, this new look has this new high gloss fiberglass, and it really, man, it really does stand out. When you see it sitting next to an RV with conventional Phylon, you're really like, huh, wow, that one's really shinier. It looks really good by comparison. The other thing that does is it makes the paint packages look so much better. So here's a quick look at the default look. Now there's also the Hero Edition, which is a matte green paint in case you want to Hulk out. Then they have a gray and a black that are both part of their Midnight Edition color palettes. The Hero Edition and the Midnight Edition, it's more than just paint. There's a lot of things that go on there. I actually have separate videos that I've done previously kind of helping you detail and learn about those things. But there's a lot that goes into it. The thing is, though, again, with the new smoother, sleeker, higher, glossier fiberglass, that paint package is going to really look phenomenal by comparison. Although this base look is, I think it looks like really sharp and really classy. You know, it just kind of feels like Cougars may be maturing a little bit here. Now, they've had an upgraded shock dampening pin box for a while, but they found a better version. This new Kurt Helix pin box right here is doing an excellent job out in the RV marketplace across many, many brands of providing smoother, better ride and handling. Now, along with that, you also have a Road Armor suspension package, as well as 16-ply H-rated tires and anti-lock braking with electronic anti-sway. And it's TPMS prepped, easy plug and play. So this thing gives us lots of destination space. I know plenty of people that have these at like seasonal and or permanent sites. But this is also a floor plan that is very surprisingly mobile. There's also something kind of coincidentally magical about a fifth wheel of this size. It will depend a little bit on a few factors, but generally speaking, wow, that's a big pass through. Generally speaking, the tire wipes on this fifth wheel will marry up and mirror the tire tracks of your vehicle almost exactly when you're making turns. So it just makes it easier for moving it around, toting it around. You do have three-way awning switches down in here, so you don't have to go necessarily inside just to open stuff up. If I get you down below here, you can see a couple things. We do have an enclosed forced air heated belly. You can't really see the forced air heated. You can only see that it's enclosed. You also can't see that it has radiant barrier layering. That also goes up the nose cap and across the roof. You can't see that it has not just a forced air heat dump into the belly, but also directly blowing on each holding tank, which is something a lot of brands don't do. You also can't see that it has 12-volt thermostatic tank heat pads, factory standard on this. And they actually run the water lines all but touching right next to the heat lines in the belly of this thing, so that those water lines are picking up a little bit more radiant spill-off heat. It's not a directly heated water line. I'm not trying to connect those dots. I want you to know what it is and what it's not. But basically, this has an awesome weather package. And Cougars are rated, tested, and proven from 0 to 110 degrees. And it's that 110. Everyone wants to worry about the freezing temp capability. But most people spend most of their time hot climate camping. And knowing that it can stay comfortable in those hotter climates, I think is actually even more important and more impressive. You do still have the 3,000-pound towing hitch on the back here. The 250-pound factory standard roof ladder getting you up top there to that walkable roof. This does have, by default, a 220-watt solar package with 30-amp Victron and PPT charge controller. That all might be nothing to you, but basically they're using good hardware. They're not using the budget brand kind of hardware on your solar charging arrangement. They also have, that's the Baby Bear. They also have a Mama Bear and a Papa Bear solar package available if you want to learn more about those. Now, this is triple rack and pinion slide. Cougar fifth wheels are almost exclusively rack and pinion all the way around, and this floor plan itself is rack and pinion all the way around, even on that upper deck. Notice how you see absolutely no mechanism. The rack and pinion mech is actually located under the headboard area of the bed, but you still had plenty of footlocker storage below the bed. So all of these are very heavy duty kind of slides. They're probably more expensive mechanisms. They certainly weigh more, but statistically and by consumer sentiment are considered the best and most reliable variety of slide system. This also has the benefit of being a singular sewer outlet, which makes life simple in a lot of different ways. It's a 60,000 BTU on-demand tankless water heater. And this is not a drop frame storage compartment, but I ain't mad at it. It is huge. The funny thing is, I think drop frame compartments are largely kind of a gimmick. And here's what I mean by that, because somebody's head just exploded like, what? Here's what I mean. Generally speaking, you stack cargo side by side, not on top of one another. So as long as stuff can fit in there, which a big giant tote can fit in the basement of this thing, do I need it to be an extra foot taller in there? I don't know that I do. Now, if you're a person who's like, yeah, but I full-time and I have a ridiculous amount of stuff in there, Jack, I get it. Okay, cool, no problem. Look at a Montana, look at a North Point, etc. Most people, you don't need to do that. And this will do all the same things for way less weight and money. Oh yeah, here's a cool thing I kind of forgot about. Down here in the baggage compartment, they have this little thing that swings out now. One, it makes it easier to get to the backside of your pumps and everything. Two, you've got this water manifold system basically, where you can individually shut off any individual water fixture, both the hot and the cold line to it. So hypothetically, let's say that your kitchen faucet, you find a drip underneath it coming from it looks like the cold water side of the sink. You could disable the cold side, keep hot water going to your kitchen sink, not affect your toilet, not affect your shower, not affect your bathroom sink, etc. You could limp through a trip, not have to take a lot of downtime. It's annoying, don't get me wrong, but you can continue to camp in the meantime until you can get that thing resolved, and that manifold system allows you more control over that. There's like one flying critter of some variety that has been harassing me all day. It just must love the smell of me. I don't know. Anyway, again, probably could have edited that out, but we didn't. If you would like to see where we have one of these parked and the general price tag on one of these, leave us, or you don't got to leave us a note. I'm getting overheated perhaps. Check the links in the video description is what I meant to say, where I'll leave you links for pricing, availability, and similar floor plans from other builders, because like Eagle, Brinkley, Avenue, Montana, like North Point, Pinnacle, everybody makes a version of a floor plan like this, and they all have some good qualities, and they all got some kind of things. You know, that's why I put these videos together. It really, the goal is to help you cross-compare, choose the one that you want, and hopefully get your second camper the first time around. So if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button. If you're new with us, and maybe we'll see you again. Till next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.